Something that I'm just gonna wait for.
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it back up.
Right, cool. I'll give you the appropriate amount of credit.
Prepare for battle.
And Ben is so handsome. I wonder Grace dates him.
Are you having sister envy right now?
I kind of am.
Profound. All right, welcome everybody in from the main stream. We had a short little pause. We were having actually a interesting conversation, Blitz and I, about evil geniuses, and I mentioned that EG, I feel like one of their strongest aspects when it comes to them as a team is their initiation, and that kind of makes sense, seeing as they always, Sumail Storm Spirit is kind of one of the most signature heroes, and Storm is one of the best initiators out there. But I feel like that's what Evil Genius is. Despite the fact that CDEC do have all this great 5-man team fight, EG will always get the jump.
Yeah, it's just such a big part of their strategy of being able to start the fight and then look at the landscape and figure things out. Like I feel like that's pretty much what EG do. They get into a fight and then they can back each other up. They get to kind of make their own plans within the fight and say, we have to do this, this, and this to win the fight. And you can see that in the way they re-engage and disengage.
Yeah, they make that first poke and then exploit the openings from there.
Yeah, and it always seems like, oh, Sumail or Fear lived with 10 HP because X player backed him up, and that was such a good team fight. Like, we see that happen so frequently, but speaking of Sumail, for me personally, player of the tournament, the amount of games that he single-handedly won his team, like I've counted about 4 or 5 games where he just destroys the enemy mid laner, and at this level of competition, for him to be able to solo kill people, like consistently,
yeah,
it's just kind of absurd.
It is pretty insane how that, like, we really can't keep our eyes off of Sumail in this middle lane. Like, he's going up against a Dragon Knight Disruptor, and yet there's still like a 50% chance that he's gonna walk away with the first blood. There is a small
50% chance. Are you really, Cap? We're going with 50%.
He either gets the kill or he doesn't.
I don't think that's how it works, but
percentages. Hey.
All right, so but my
courier. Oh, PPD.
That was close.
He was just like half a foot away from being able to get that next one.
I guess my main thing though is a mid player. If you're able to solo kill the enemy's mid, it means so much for the rest of your team. It bolsters your confidence. It allows you to be the most farmed hero in the game. It just does. As a result of that, we saw that in the last game alone. So they have to be careful. And Universe at top is actually just getting into a man fight, and Aggressive can't really fight him because he's opted to go for the flat cannon first. And now with PPD up here, he's actually doing so well in this lane right now.
You know, I kind of forget about Caustic Finale and the change that occurred, but boy, that ability's so strong in 1 versus 1 scenarios, or maybe just like 2 versus 2. You know what it was? I was playing in Dirtball, and it came down to between me and Nigma, and we had to play 1 versus 1 mid, since Slash just chose the heroes kind of at random. And I had to play a Sand King versus Sand King matchup.
Man, that was the
Caustic Finale.
Really relevant to this.
It was.
The Dirtball finals. TI5. I can totally see why you brought that up. Sometimes Wagger or I may bring up our 7K games, but that was really that was the example that really helped me understand this matchup. Thank you,
anyway, the point is that Sand King, no matter how relevant he may be in the meta, don't really talk about Caustic Finale at all. All right, and it requires a sort of stupid like 1 versus 1 mid for you to actually go back and go Caustic Finale. That's an ability, right?
Yeah. I'm just pulling.
I know, you're just razzing me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get you frustrated.
When Cap trying to figure out if I'm Mafia right now.
When Cap gets frustrated, he just gets progressively angrier. So, alright, so this bottom lane though, Undying plus Tusk is so strong. Like, it's really difficult to play against, but because AUI's here, they have no idea where the lines are. And I just feel like CDEC are just so afraid of him. Like last game we saw that alone. They had 2 BKBs, a Roshan advantage, they had the Aegis, and they still weren't willing to push.
Ooh, cute! Last couple of right clicks, they need another. Universe is now going to have to turn onto Aggressive. They've got Sand King and Dazzle. That seems to be just enough sustain for them to be able to survive through those rocket barrages. This dual lane is doing, dual lanes on both sides are doing incredibly well, I would say, for EG, despite their unique flavor. Techie's Queen of Pain dual lane is really weird,
yeah,
to say the least.
Part of the reason why you pick the Gyrocopter is that he can be self-sufficient, so you can pick greedy supports with him. Is how you should look at it. Disruptor is kind of a greedy support. It is one of the better ones at zoning. It's not like a Dazzle where you're going to struggle a little bit, but because this dual lane is so strong, this Dazzle plus Sand King, it's actually forcing the Disruptor to stay mid, and what it's doing is it's allowing Sumail to snowball in this mid lane, and because Fear is so good at catching up into the game, they're actually not even concerned about this bottom lane really, and Fear's got 20 CS. It's not even like that dual offlane is doing a really good job, and as a result of this, Sumail is taking such a big snowball lead mid. He already has 27 CS compared just to the 14 of the Dragon Knight. He's almost doubling his CS. He has complete rune control right now, and this is what I'm talking about. When you play with a player like this that almost consistently wins his lane and allows you to snowball off of this, it means you don't have to worry about his lane, and the other team is just constantly trying to figure out a way to beat him.
Yeah, I can see Webis is
Dyer's
keeping a
middle tower
firm
is under
camera
attack.
on Sumail, just because you never know if he's going to be able to secure that first blood. And he's getting to the point where those level 3 raids are pretty dangerous, but it's bottom lane. That looks like we're going to have our kill. There it is. Suicide finally comes out. AUI secures the first blood. Dangerous situation. The Undying versus Techies is just frustrating through and through. Just because Techies offers such a significant team fight advantage early on, but it's Undying versus that one. The snowball, yeah, it didn't catch him. Sumail is just so far back.
I think part of the problem with playing against a Techies or a Bounty Hunter and why it's frustrating is because it completely changes the way that you play Dota.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just play normal Dota and expect normal things to happen. Like, weird stuff happens when a Techies or a Bounty Hunter in the game. You constantly have to keep ward vision up. You're afraid to take fights because you don't really know. You fear the unknown. You're just like, are people going to be behind?
Yeah.
Am I walking into a trap here?
I told you about that conversation I had in the lunchroom, right? I can't remember. I think it's with FNG, but I can't actually remember who it was specifically. But it was like, why is Bounty Hunter picked up? You look at all the other heroes that are picked up in the first 1-2. They're all just genuinely strong heroes throughout all parts of the game. Jumpcopters, Queen of Pains, Lina, these kind of heroes just always strong, right? And then you've got Bounty Hunter, who has some very obvious strengths and weaknesses, and I would say isn't that same kind of hero. It's like, it's just the fact that Bounty Hunter makes you play so differently. The game is just different entirely when you're able to first pick up a Bounty Hunter and the team has to. Now, obviously, as we've seen the group stages progress, it hasn't actually turned out that well. Seems like teams have really adjusted
Dyer's
to the
middle
Bounty Hunter
tower
play,
is under
but
attack.
the general idea is still there. It forces the enemy team to play a different game.
There's no adjusting to a Techies. Like, there's no real way that you're just gonna completely in the before the draft I said you just have to act like Techies isn't a hero in the game. Like, if you die to mines, it's whatever. Dota bugged out. Like, Dom should patch that. My hero just disappeared. Like, you can't get frustrated. You can't allow it to overly impact your game plan. You just have to continue to play solid, smart Dota and not just let it be like, oh, if we push here even with the gem, are we running into mines right now? And I feel like that's what happened to CDEC. You just have to play cautious and just pretend like he's not some sort of all-omnipotent god that has mines everywhere, and if you just make a move, you're all gonna blow up. Like, you have to respect it a little bit less than that.
Universe get a lot of farm here. This lane 19 and 2 as a kind of dual off laner. You've got 10 CS on the Dazzle as well, so the combined CS is actually quite nice. Middle lane seems to be going very well for Sumail, to say the least. 57 and 15. Of course, he's got Radiant Sight, so he's able to grab extra CS out of the neutrals. Shiki sitting at a 33 and 2. Obviously never going to stay anywhere near the SF and farm unless they get into a mid-game spin where they start really countering him a lot of the time. Now, Universe still has his Burrow Strike to be able to get away. They also have the Shallow Grave. They glimpse him back, and the Burrow Strike comes out in order to get out of that one. Now Fear makes a quick response, a TP in, and an ultimate to lay out the Disruptor. Many of the other heroes would drop quite low, but still, it's fighting around and Undying. They don't get greedy, they just take the one pick off that they got. Helped Universe survive, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, you force the Dragon Knight to rotate at the same time as the Undying, and the Disruptor dies for that, and you don't lose a single hero. You're going to be incredibly satisfied if you're using it. They know for a fact that he doesn't have the Tombstone. They're going to fight this.
Yeah, this is a little awkward here. Shiki actually runs to Sumail, Dragon Tails him up, runs right past him with that extra movement speed.
I don't think they're going to be able to get anything as a result of this, but it's going to force CDEC out of the lane. It's going to make it easier for them to push down this mid tower, and CDEC is just playing reactionary Dota. If you're going to pick up a haste rune, incredibly happy to see this, and he might even bother just swinging back mid, but he notices that at bottom this is a free lane. You don't want to just ever give up free. You still want to play around the fact that there's farm down there.
Yeah. Well, AUI would be happy to take some of that farm. He's actually level 5, so the very early level 6 is coming his way. They certainly know how to use AUI Spaceman. Always the greedy force, so valuable on him. AUI trying to run down this Tusk. Couldn't quite get in range, though. Back up. Universe getting more free time in the top lane as CDEC are trying to get really aggressive early on.
They have to guarantee a kill here. They're using this is such a big resource. The gyrocopter's not farming top at all, and you notice that EG actually just completely back off because they realize the gyro's not pushing out this top lane. It's almost by his tower, and he's still not here, and so it's guaranteed that they're off the map. And you see Universe actually rotate too, and they're actually going to pincer CDEC, and Universe is going to spot them out. They know they're here, and CDEC's stuck in such a weird position because they don't want to give this up, but they're not in the best position to continue pursuing, and so what they have to do now is almost go for this push with Shiki, but he doesn't have the Elder Dragon form, so this is just going to completely fail.
Yeah. That one opening where they found, like, in the top river area, to jump on the Undying and Dragon Knight, forcing out that Elder Dragon form, like, it's a very small advantage, but you can see how it pays off in the right situations here. Dragon Knight unable to make his team push down that tower because of the lack of. They do have a nice big stack of Ancients, though. Shiki is actually running over to stack that one even more. Of course, the Gyrocopter is going to be looking to farm that one on a little bit later.
The problem is this passive playstyle doesn't benefit CDEC. If you notice that EG, Sumail has Hand of Midas right now, and he's just pretty much saying, I'm going to get further and further ahead of you. Dragon Knight is full 2 levels behind. Even more than that. It's almost, after this next neutral camp, it's going to be 3 levels behind. So I know I'm talking a lot about Sumail, but how do you ignore the fact that somebody's got a level a minute? Even more than that, actually. That's a 10-minute Midas almost feels already.
2,000 net worth advantage over you when you only have 3,600 as a Dragon Knight anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty absurd if you think about it, and it just makes this game so much easier for EG. And I mean, CDEC's been pretty dominant this entire tournament, but it just feels like they're getting a little bit frustrated. Like that smoke attempt mid where after they didn't find somebody, they didn't instantly give it up. They just constantly walked around with their carry to try to find something. It just feels like this is a team that isn't quite sure what to do anymore, especially after that last game. And it's almost like they're giving EG a little bit too much respect. Because CDEC, I definitely think they could have won that last game if they had just stuck to their guns and said, we're going to 5-man and ignore the fact that Techie's is hero.
They at least would have had a stronger contest than we actually saw, which was a very slow death of CDEC.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think CDEC is taking a similar approach here where they're being a little bit overly cautious. Like, they're just pretty much letting AUI set up camp here at bottom. The Techie, or the Tusk isn't even farming because he's so afraid that there are mines or landmines there. He doesn't want to approach this lane, so this is a free lane for them. And EG are just kind of hiding behind this mid tower and constantly just doing the jungle over and over again. And it's impossible for Shiki to pop his Elder Dragon form when you've just got a hero in the jungle at all times. Like, you actually have to try to contest it first and kill him.
Ooh, Tusk actually jumped the Techies finally, but there's double mines to catch him out. So not only is there suicide from the Techies dodging his own kill being given away to CDEC, but also gets the counter kill onto the Tusk.
CDEC's going for the smoke.
Yeah.
They need this too. This is.
Why do you think EG went for the smoke in the first place, though?
You kill bottom and then you go for the tower, but I don't even know if that plays enough here. Universe is going to spot this out. They don't have ward vision of the mine. They know that
tower is under attack.
The mine's exploding as well. They know there's multiple heroes, obviously.
Oh, no. If they get spotted out like this, all they're going to do is pressure this bottom tower out, and then it's hard for them to. But if they can kill Sumail here, this would be significant. But he has his Yule Scepter and a Hand of Midas already. They have to be so careful about this, but they should have enough to kill him.
Yeah, Sumail's going to be forced into a self-Yule Scepter. Never mind, still gets caught by the ultimate. Now, the damage here from the Great Sonic Wave in order to finish off the disruption nice and fast. Sumail dropping lower and lower damage, getting really good shot rate. He actually survived through all of that. The last bit of damage is there from the Tombstone, unfortunately. Now the Dragon Knight plus the Undying both going to pop their ultimates here to try and find some more. AUI get a little bit of damage on the card. The first damage is almost there. Fear still goes down towards the tail end of that one, but AUI walks away with a double kill. Shiki trying to catch up to PPD, has the Dragon Tail up, but can't really chase him into the Techies lane.
Oh, is he going to run into these mines on the side? I don't think that's enough, actually. It's only
3 mines, I think.
He's got a lot of armor, so he should be okay with this, but...
Actually, it's only 2 mines.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
The third one's in the bottom area.
I see. Yeah. So even if he walked in there for TP, he'd be fine. And he picks up Blink Dagger now.
Radiant's
so
bottom tower is under
doing
attack.
a good job of keeping up
Dyer's
now in
top
farm. He's
tower
only
is under attack.
1,500 now behind Sumail, and he's actually jumped over Fear. So net worth is not too terrible for CDEC. The problem for them right now is that the gyrocopter has absolutely nothing.
AUI, he doesn't have suicide, so he just lays down double bind to finish off the disruptor. Ice shards, well, he caught AUI, but now there's PPD behind him. Nice double burrow strike. Universe still going to be caught though by the snowball, double calm down, and will be popped. Sumail trying to get a kill there with the long range races, but CDEC actually making an okay exchange there. Originally going for the techies, missing out, but he still did Universe.
EUI's not even afraid. He just fights them.
Yeah.
Lays down landmines. Like, I dare you. Find out if I have remote as well. And we saw that at bottom. And in that fight in the jungle, he placed 3 mines there. All of them hit. So it's becoming so hard for them to fight right now. And it's just not the best situation for them.
Tombstone used by Gardner. They are trying to clear through this stack. Obviously, this early on to the game, gyrocopter, 1 flat cannon isn't even going to be close, so gonna take a little bit more time. Looks like he's going for the drums build, Ring of Aquila and drums. Very early laning phase stat items being picked up by him. Plus, he also went for the treads
Dire's
over
bottom
phase
tower
boots.
is under attack.
Seems just like a lot of tanking up that he's trying to do versus heroes like the Queen of Pain and the burst damage of the Sand King.
I don't think he can go for the drums. I feel like he needs a BKB so much sooner in this game.
Oh.
If you go for the drums and then go for the BKB, then you still lack stuff
Here
like
comes the
lifesteal.
epicenter. Q. He's going to be blown up immediately. Shiki does manage to get a stun right away onto Universe, and there's a TP rotation coming out from our gyrocopter. The call down's going to land on Universe, finishing him up. PPD was put in an awkward position there trying to save his ally, and now looks like he's going to be run down by the Dragonite. He is buying his allies time, though, to get both the middle and bottom towers, so that is something, I suppose.
Oh, for PPD for 2 towers?
Yeah.
He'd be so satisfied with this.
Well, yeah, Universe. I mean,
Dire's
Universe
middle
traded
tower
himself for
is
a
under
disruptor.
attack.
It's not a great trade-off.
Radiant's
but
top tower is
Space
under
created,
attack.
don't worry.
yeah.
They're gonna go for this tower. Sumail's got a Yule Scepter.
Sure.
They know the TP rotations already came on top. The Dragonite is the only hero you're worried about.
Radiant's
They're
top
trying to
tower
sandwich
is
him right now for the kill.
Has to make a snowball play. Walrus punch on a Sumail, and now the disruptor ultimate actually locks Sumail in. He still has fuels to be able to buy himself a little bit more time, but will go down. Towards the end of that one, looks like the commitment was just too much. It's just too hard ganking a Tusk underneath a tower. Snowball is just such a great recovery.
Radiant structures are
Yeah, CDEC
fortified.
are actually counter-pushing this tier 2 tower.
Dire's
They're doing a
bottom
lot of
tower
damage to it right now, and
is
EG
down.
are losing heroes.
Radiant's top tower
lot
is
more-
under
What do you think
attack.
about this Blink Dagger, though? Oh, nice Blink forward. PPD. Agents did not respect
Radiant's
the
top
Blink of
tower
Dragonite.
has
And they
fallen.
got the top tier 2 tower on both of their cores. Were able to push it pretty much by themselves, and
Radiant's
EG
top
had a
tower
pretty
is under
okay
attack.
advantage. I mean, Sumail still leads in net worth, but the Dragonite is catching up, and now Fear has actually been supplanted by this gyrocopter, who was a full 3k behind him in net worth, and now he's gonna go for the drums because he's like, now this game is going much better now. It's like, things are going okay. I've got a Helm of Dom.
Yeah.
We're not just getting destroyed. I don't have to get a BKB just off the bat.
I think we got a little downtime here, and I think it's really important. We talk about the Blink Dagger techies. Why is AUI going for this, and what does this imply for CDEC? How do they respond to that? Because I'm looking at this and going, CDEC, I mean, they could actually just techies suicide jump on a gyrocopter every fight if they wanted to.
I think it's more the split push potential that it gives you. Like, the thing is you don't want to gank a techies. That's the weird concept about the hero mode. You never really want to gank techies because you never know what you're going to lose out of it. If he just suicides, then you wasted your time. If he has mines there and you die as a result, it's even
Dire's
worse.
top tower is
That's
under
kind of the
attack.
issue with the hero. And so AUI is kind of telling them, okay, you know, yeah, maybe you can kill me, but you can't start with this Blink Dagger because I can just remote mine, land mine, kill a creep wave, blink out.
Right.
Are you really going to pursue a techie
Dire's
like
top
that?
tower
You
is
don't
under
quite
attack.
know what's going on, and so I think this is a response to that. They can keep the game going indefinitely because this game they have much better cores. Last game they had
Dire's
Belina.
top tower
the
is under attack.
They've got a Queen of Pain who can scale really well against the line of CDEC. Their supports, techies and Dazzle, we see how
Dire's
good Weave is
structures
every
are
single
fortified.
game. And the Shadow Fiend
Dire's
still
top
has that
tower
hand of Midas,
is
so
under
he's going to
attack.
snowball faster than everybody else. So you're just going to see
Dire's
this
top
split push,
tower
I think.
has fallen.
Dragonite loses
Radiant's
or
bottom
pops his
tower
ultimate in order
is
to take
under
this tier
attack.
1 at the bottom lane. Trade-off, EG grabbing the tower top. We've got the mech finished up for our Undying. Dragonite is going to be building into a BKB, looks like. Pretty obvious there.
Radiant's bottom
Gyrocopter
tower
actually
has
goes for the
fallen.
Helmet Dominator after the drums.
I really like this build though by Shiki. Getting the Blink Dagger was so clutch. Like, they were quite far behind if you looked at net worth. Early game, he was behind by like 4k gold. He's like, what item is going to allow me to catch back up into this game? We need to punish Fear.
Dire's
We need to
top
punish
tower
Sumail.
is under
The Blink
attack.
Dagger is going to be what does it for them. And EG are starting to realize that Dual Scepter and Animitis that Sumail have aren't great net worth lead items right now. Like, he needs a BKB to be able to survive
Dire's
these fights.
top tower is under attack.
That's why they're sitting back. Split pushing, farming. Just generally speaking, staying away from CDEC. CDEC don't even have the opportunity. I was like, okay, if they're being given space, are you able to take Roshan? They don't even like have a medallion drone.
They don't have the best course to do the Roshan. The Gyrocopter and Dragon Knight aren't the best two heroes at doing it.
Yeah.
But I just want to highlight, Shiki got destroyed in that last game. But this game, he's really recovered, despite the early start that Sumail had. His item progression is really strong right now. He's going to hit a BKB at a really reasonable time. That Blink Dagger has done so much work, and he's 2-0 in green. He's put so much pressure on the map, and I'm starting to see why CDEC is so dominant as bottom. PPD is going to get caught out of position too.
Yeah, he's done for. CDEC, he throws out the weave last half second there. They actually get the kill to Disruptor. Looks like they wanted to back up immediately because they knew there was a possibility of recourse. Universe, oh, not quite enough. Great glimpse out from Q. And the double TP out. Nope. Fear actually got one of them. And AY forward, but a little bit too late for the toss.
They're still just creating space around the map, which I think is a good thing, is that you're forcing EG, who
Radiant's
force you to
middle
play
tower
around
is
them.
under attack.
This time CDEC is saying you're going to play around them. We're going to make this. We're going to force you to play. All right, Dota just bugged out and the Undying died. Somebody's got to get on there and fix it. Yeah.
Well, please.
You can't even be bothered by
Hey,
that. That's
don't
what
worry
I mean.
about it. There's a lot of Valve staff around here. We'll talk to them after the game.
Yeah, he's got to be saying, like, why would you place wards there? You're winning the game. You don't have to be defensive.
That was actually, the sound that you made was actually the perfect sound for when somebody dies to Techie's minds.
I just like, I was trying to laugh and I can't even, whatever. The game bugged, the Undying died, you move on from that. That's life. That's the thing, that's how you have to treat it. You can't get tilted by stuff like that. You just be like, that's, you know, what can you do?
Oh, Clarity caught by 2 mines. There's the blink and they eliminate the Gyrocopter. The physical damage and pure damage combined together, but Shiki is still in good fighting shape. He already popped the BKB, gets healed up. They will catch PPT. That's a 2 for 1, make it a 3. They're going to be able to catch Fear as well with the Disruptor ultimate, making sure he doesn't go anywhere. That actually turns out very alright. Especially thinking get more, but Sumail's already popped his BKB. Let's lose the ultimate. Universe jumps forward with the first strike. They take out the Undying. A big kill again. Same goes with XZ. And Shiki realizes without his support, he has to start backing himself away. The Universe is still around. He has first strike up in a second. Can he get it off in time? No. Right click is there from Shiki. He commits all in order to get that kill. So at the end of the day, that was 3 for 4 plus the suicide on EG.
Yeah,
3 EG members plus the suicide. AY. But Sumail just got so much farm out of that, so I gotta give it to EG.
I don't even know if Universe,
Dire's middle
if
tower
the
is
Queen of Pain
under
doesn't buy
attack.
back there, I'm not quite certain that they
Dire's
kill the Dragon
structures
Knight.
are fortified.
So, I mean, he's demonstrating that he's incredibly tanky. The armor that he's got, the Black King bar, it just makes him so incredibly hard to kill. And that was not the best fight because they managed to blow up the Gyrocopter instantly and they still barely win that fight.
Yeah.
And it cost the buyback. That's what you should consider. It's not the raw numbers. It's in an ideal world, in a vacuum, who won that fight. And I think that CDEC, if things go perfectly, they can still come out on top. And I just like the fact that this game, they're kind of just ignoring the techies factor. And that's what I
Radiant's
said.
middle
I said it
tower is
repeatedly. I
under
was like,
attack.
you just have to play like the hero doesn't exist. Play cautious, but, you know, don't let it scare you into not making moves whatsoever. And they're doing it. They're getting aggressive on the map. They're willing to take these fights. And I like that they're finally starting to apply pressure, but they have to be so careful about not overcommitting.
Oh, the epicenter's coming in. Universe is going to be lit just for 1 day. World Strike already met goes in. Nor to save MC. Double solo. He actually locks the Universe in. Good Calgrave's actually going to be able to buy more time for the Universe. Has World Strike up in a second. There goes XC. Fear for him. Sumail is already dead. Fear makes the blink away from the tombstone now. He got a couple of kills. Shiki's still trying to pursue, but he won't be able to get close enough. And fight still
Dire's
really good
bottom
for
tower
EG.
is under attack.
They kept Universe alive, and Fear with the double damage, man.
Radiant's
He
middle
just
tower
caused so much
is under
havoc.
attack.
They might even want to re-engage here.
Radiant structures
If they only
are
see 2
fortified.
heroes here, I think they actually want to get into
Dire's
this
bottom
fight.
tower
They
is
know the
under
other three are
attack.
100% dead. AUI
Universe
does have the
taking it.
Blink Suicide ready to go.
Oh, I don't Here we go.
There it is. Suicide comes in. That combination, man. That's what I was talking about. I'm sorry, Blitz.
Man, you're a
Push
genius.
techies is crazy, but
He was doing it before, alright?
the blink, it's the physical damage. He like blinks in, instant gigantic nuke plus sonic wave.
I mean, it's pretty fun. Like, PPD might not even go down here. She can get the turnaround on. They don't actually have any damage dealers, so it's probably pretty unlikely.
Yeah, they actually glimpsed back PBT.
Oh, that
Q
shadow
actually tried to
window.
finish him off. Oh dear, Fear's gonna come in for the cleanup, and CDEC. They just get like that first initial fight, right? Like it was 4-4-4, but one of them was suicide. It was like, okay, that's a really even fight. There was a buyback as well, super even, but CDEC just maybe half a step behind, and then the next team fight they're a full step behind. And it seems like this team fight they're just
Dire's
2,
middle
3,
tower is under
5,
attack.
10 steps behind EG.
The problem is that, I mean, you know that Universe has his epicenter up, and you're
Dire's
just going for
middle
tier 1
tower
tower. There's
has
so many
fallen.
different angles that he can come in on, and he didn't even hesitate. He saw the opportunity. He doesn't even wait for anybody to set up. He's like, I'm just going to go in here. This looks like a really good fight for us to take. And CDEC, they should not have been surprised by that. Like, Universe has been playing Sand King so well this entire tournament. How do you allow him to just set up like that? That was the freest initiation I've seen him have all tournament. Like, EG's almost always been initiated on in a lot of these engagements with that Dragon Knight Blink dagger, but this time, EG finally take a really clean fight, and that was an ideal fight for them. And CDEC just took so much damage. They don't have a BKB on their gyrocopter, so he can't really survive engagements like that. And that's the biggest thing, is if your gyrocopter doesn't have a BKB, if he doesn't have a satanic, he doesn't have the
Radiant's
best way to get
bottom tower is
re-engaged
under
back
attack.
into those fights. So once he's at 400 HP, EG is going to all in every single time, and they have to start respecting that Sand King ultimate because Universe is just ruining him.
BKB is finished up now for the gyrocopter. We'll see if that
Dire's
changes
top
things
tower
for
is under
CDEC,
attack.
but they're rapidly losing net worth.
They just got to go.
Sumail's got 15,000 compared to 11,000 of the Dragon Knight in second place, and he's about to grow that even further. Trying to take that tier 2 tower. He's actually going to come back for it. Shiki still got the blink though. Sumail's just playing mind games with Shiki. But looks like the deny is still going to be
Dire's
there.
top tower has been denied.
And EG actually immediately, this is interesting. They force a lot of effort in that top lane. Immediately TP out down to the bottom lane, smoke up, and go straight to Roshan.
And this timing is going to be so quick, they're not really going to see this coming, and this might be what EG need to start taking more fights around the map, because with this Roshan, it's going to be hard to kill Sumail twice. Both sides just ended up with a triple kill. I think they actually do. They're headed down to see a game-winning fight, but they don't know that Universe is smoked up still and waiting in this corner.
They may be distracted by
Going for it.
Universe. He makes the play game for only eliminating Q, but it's still great ultimate speed. Brad trying to finish off Universe. We're going to get the Burrow Strike away. Undying already down and out. Same goes with the Tombstone. Sumail's going to run out of his BKB though, and Shiki is aggressive. Will Joseph focus him down into the Burrow Strike? Sumail still left alive, but he will go down eventually. Universe sandstorming his way in. It's actually going to survive a bit longer. He'll actually just walk away. Just no vision there from CDEC. 2 for 1, it looks like, with CDEC now poking their heads inside the Roshan pit. They're going to try and take it. It's at half HP. EG, seems like they have to get this one up. Fear's just going to push in middle.
That frozen sigil allows them to do this so easily, and they've got the Elder Dragon Form 113. CDEC is such a beautiful fight. And the thing is, Universe was just a little bit too far to get the Burrow Strike in front of the Gyrocopter, who popped his BKB. And Sumail went in at the same time, but his ultimate actually didn't do any damage to anybody. Like, they killed 2 heroes that don't really provide too much, but CDEC's real tanky, beefy heroes, you've got the Dragon Knight who popped his BKB and just went to town. Same with the Gyrocopter. It was way too hard for EG to take that fight.
That is the right way to play it, though, as Evil Geniuses, to focus on the surrounding supports of CDEC. Don't go for the Gyrocopter unless you get the jump on him without BKB. Don't go for the DK. Kill the surrounding heroes, and then either you've won the fight so much that you're able to 5 versus 2, or you just use your mobility to get out and probably be at a kill advantage. I mean, we've seen it kind of cut and dry so many times now that EG, like Sumail, basically is able to sack himself for then a couple of kills, and then heroes like Fear and Universe are still able to get out scot-free.
Yeah, Sumail just needs a little bit more backup, and he needs more damage. you can't rely on the ultimate anymore with this amount of BKB. Or he has to just wait it out a little bit longer. Right now he's blinking in, getting the BKB ultimate off, but it's wasting a large portion of his BKB timing, which is already down to 7 seconds. It does take quite a little. It's like 2 seconds off for the Requiem. Add another second for when you have to position to get the blink
Radiant's
off.
middle tower
And then
is
half
under
of your
attack.
BKB timer is over, just setting up an ultimate that doesn't deal damage to either
Radiant
of the cores on CDEC. And
structures
so
are fortified.
CDEC, they've got such tanky cores like SNY,
Radiant's
BKB,
middle
Dragon
tower
Knight.
is under
Those
attack.
aren't easy heroes to kill.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Oh, that Aghanim's, it's coming
Dire's
for
bottom
AUI.
tower is under
He's
attack.
3/4 of the way there. CDEC though,
Radiant's
tier
middle
1, and they
tower
didn't
is
even
under
use Elder
attack.
Dragon form. They'll pop it down and go for the tier 2. Of course, the glyph is up. Top lane's pushing in. Bottom tier 2 is also being threatened as well. CDEC, in order to make this a really fair trade-off, it seems like they have to go into
Dire's
straight
top
tier 3.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, they might actually do that because they know that
Dire's
AUI has no
structures
time to
are
respond to this.
fortified.
He's going to try to TP out, but
Radiant's
they've got no
middle
mines
tower
in this
is
mid
under
lane.
attack.
And CDEC, I think, are well
Radiant
aware of this and
structures
are going to continue to go for
Dire's
this.
bottom tower has fallen.
So much damage being done to their mid tier 3 tower, and they're still not quite set up. Universe is just going to go in, but this is just to buy time. Try to scare CDEC and make them reconsider, but
Radiant's
they're so
middle
set up
tower
right now.
has
EG
fallen.
just had no time to respond.
Yep, in game number 1, CDEC didn't really utilize that first Aegis they picked up, but game 2 here, they want to try and make it a tie. CDEC have already taken down tier 1, 2, and 3, but will stay shy of that melee Rex. Get a little scared, and I can't say I blame them. The Elder Dragon form was about to fall, so still a lot of net worth that they just picked up. Aggressive now has 4,800 gold. Is Butterfly his choice? Do you go Scotty just for more raw stats, or do you go MKB knowing that SF is going to go Butterfly next time?
You don't know that the Butterfly is coming out on Sumail, though, because he's actually held on and not he's made sure that CDEC has no idea. It's most likely to be a Butterfly for the Shadow Fiend, but you still want to keep them guessing.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, give them another look. CDEC, though, I imagine he'd probably go with the MKB. I think it's just the better decision. You know that there's a really high likelihood that Sumail goes for the Butterfly, because Sumail's not going to get an MKB in anticipation of the Butterfly being, or the Gyrocopter. Like, you can't really guess wrong, whereas the Gyrocopter can afford to.
Shiva's is almost finished up for Universe. So his initiation going to be buffed up so much more. Queen of Pain must be a Scythe device then, if we already have a Shiva's.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good call right now. You need something because the BKB timers are getting lower, and the Dragon Knight is just so hard to kill in a straight-up fight. You probably just need to kite their shield. That's the advantage of having
Dire's
an
top
X
tower
when you
is
can
under
blow
attack.
up like 3 of the heroes that don't really tank very much.
Oh no, that Aghanims is there. They're mass pinging out the minefield sign. They can't go uphill.
Dire's top
They can't
tower
do it.
is under attack.
So AUI managed to farm up the Aghanims like just in time. CDEC were in I think a really great position to finally force the Aegis in exchange for Rax. But with the mines already set up, they have to push a different lane, and that's just the hardest thing. It's now going to just stall up the game dramatically. They're going to have to go through bottom or top if they want to try and push the barracks in the next spot.
Yeah, AUI with that timing, it's going to make things really difficult, and you're definitely right. CDEC wanted to go for that fight. They had the Elder Dragon form back up. They've been feeling pretty confident with how all of these fights have been going. It's not even like Aggressive has to spend his money. Like, he's going to sell the Ring of Aquila, but they were still winning fights even without him having a damage dealing item, and now Sumail fully completes that his Butterfly, but I think that oh, he actually gets Butterfly his own. I guess nobody on EG is going to get an MKB, but most of EG's damage is primarily magic and the ability to kite. So I guess the Butterfly isn't a terrible choice, but you would want to be able to kill this Sumail a little bit faster.
All right, 23 to 17, 32 minutes in. A 12,000 experience lead and 7,500 gold lead, 2 evil geniuses. But CDEC just recently, thanks to a fight around Roshan, were able to get themselves a significant edge, which allowed them to take multiple towers and almost gave them the opportunity to be able to push into the base. But now, that one opportunity is kind of close. They're going to try and force open another one through a 4-man smoke. Already making their way back to the middle lane to see if they can catch anybody from EG. Just no opening to be found.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty good inclination that EG's all the way up here at the top lane. They have so many wards in the jungle and this outer area that they must have spot them. Yeah. Once they see that they're in this area, they
found
definitely
Sumail.
know.
There's just a BKB, already finds goes off, bye-bye toss. The ultimate gets laid out. Shiki actually drops a little bit low, but they're just going to keep on Sumail. University's even better. Starting off the Shiva. BKB is run out for the Dragon Knight. He's susceptible to all that. And going the Sonic way, able to finish off. Sumail does die in the end, but CDEC has lost 3, and Aggressive now fighting for his life. Does manage to get Universe. Resident Evil Geniuses are really going to pursue for more. Looks like they get Q quite easily. Aggressive, yeah, they recover the gem actually. AUI quickly snags that one. That's a huge win for them. Just the team fight, the trade-off alone, well worth it for EG, but of course taking the gem away from the enemy team is all the more valuable when you're playing Tekkies.
That was so huge. AUI had mines there that instantly got the Dragon Knight to half HP, which just killed the fight for CDEC. Once that Tekkie's got the Dragon Knight so low, he pops his BKB, but still he is at about 900 HP, and EG can definitely kill that, especially with the level 3 Sonic Wave. And then from there, it's just 1 or 2 more spells, a 6-second BKB, you can take that out pretty quickly, and then the fight became impossible for CDEC. Like, they need that Dragon Knight to take up so much more damage than he did. And that's the issue with their lineup, is that they're a little bit too over-reliant on their cores. Whereas on EG side, you saw Sumail get blown up almost instantly. Like, he pops his BKB, he died, and they still won the fight pretty dominantly. It's so annoying playing against the Tekkies. Like, that Dragon Knight must have just been like, that's rough.
Alright, stacking up some Ancients. If this does, I mean, it's a Tekkies game. It's naturally going to push late. Where do we go? What's the idea behind each team's late game?
For CDEC, you just want your Dragon Knight to get more fire. Having an Assault Cuirass so you can deal with more of the mines.
Oh dear, Universe coming in is going to help out PPD. They still have the Snowball to be able to stop PPD's TP out, and Universe may still be on as well. He actually burrow strikes.
Got the jump back.
Trees,
they know he's there.
Yep, they can see him. They just can't quite reach him because they're melee heroes. Aggressive to the rescue though. Lays out the call down. Burrow strike up in 1 second. Universe gets a little bit more distance. Now hit by the homing missile. Nick Denny Sumail though is coming through. The snowball goes out. He's really trying to commit for this kill on Universe, but Universe, oh, he got over the trees, but it's still not enough. The Ice Shards managed to get him. Now Sumail chased away by Aggressive. Fear's here as well, but he's got to be through. Now loves BKB. Fear's actually quite long to the side of the pipeline. Almost blown up Aggressive by themselves, but no. He's getting healed up by the Rift. Gardner makes a big play, and Aggressive makes the turn. Gardner even lives with just a sliver of HP. And CDEC, they found yet another fight. It started off with a weird pickoff that EG tried to contest, but it's still a fight CDEC win. They'll take anything they can.
That's the butterfly going to work right there. Sumail missed 2 or 3 hits. It's too hard for them to fight. Aggressive was just able to kite around that entire fight. He's got 5,200 gold now, easily leading the net worth chart. And Sumail's built so many items that just don't help him battle anymore. Like, you've got the Blink Dagger, you've got a Yule Scepter. Aggressive doesn't have any items like that. He's built for the late game. He's got a Butterfly, a Helm of Dama, BKB. He can get rid of the drums to get just a major item now. And nobody on EG can really match that item progression anymore. This should mean an MKB for him. There's no way that he doesn't buy one at this point, especially considering that the Shadow Fiend has a Butterfly of his own. And nobody from EG is going to be able to build a Butterfly for quite some time. You could maybe see Fear getting one.
You mean an MKB?
Yeah, an MKB. You might see Fear get Assault, right, or an MKB. Like, he's actually got a pretty tough decision to make because his team needs more armor, and it helps you fight physical damage. And it's just a good item against the Dragon Knight, but he also needs to get the MKB to be able to deal physical damage to the Gyrocopter, who's really tanky right now. Yeah,
Sigil once again allowing an easy Roshan, it seems, for CDEC. They're not going to be interrupted by evil geniuses.
Roshan has fallen.
This is just such a back and forth game right now, as both teams just continue to trade 3 heroes for 3 heroes over and over again, and I mean, you're just seeing whoever takes the slightly better fight comes out on top. It's a numbers game.
AUI's now got the Bloodstone. Kinking this guy is impossible. It's not the Suicide Squad attack, it's Bloodstone
so many
suicide.
mines in a row. It's like he's playing a brood mother of mines. Instead of webs, there's just pain. Great stuff.
And every single one of those mines, like, kills a whole entire creature.
I guarantee you, after this game, CDEC's just like, I'm having so much fun. I can't wait to play against another Tekkies.
just the split push factor alone. If they never come up and clear through this, the top lane is perma pushed. At this point.
Oh, they're actually going to find AUI. They'd be so happy with that.
XZ, he's going to have to time this one quite well. Oh, no, there goes the stasis score. They still managed to stun up some of these heroes. Let's get off this.
All right, that's the hate.
Squad.
That was like the quad ultimate. They're really not satisfied with just killing him. They have to lay it in, and I don't blame them.
They didn't even manage to force like the disruptor pops the silence there just to hope that they can force at least the Bloodstone suicide, but they don't even get that.
He got one or the other. AUI, he's already alive right now.
So did he. Always up, always ready to go.
It's a funny hero. I don't even mind it in the game. It just it changes everything. Like it's not, you don't play normal Dota like easy. I know I'm joking a lot and saying CDEC can't be having fun playing against this, and they probably aren't, but I mean it's still part of the game.
Universe pushing out that bottom lane. We saw AUI. His top lane, like, yeah, they pushed it out, but it's just because of the mind factors. The lane is still going to be keeping in the CDEC side of the map constantly. So EG have pretty free reign to farm up their jungle and try and make some sort of economic recovery to catch back up to that gyrocopter. And Sumail's honestly not that far behind aggressive.
No, I just think the problem is that he's got a lot of items that don't help him deal damage.
Yeah.
The Yule Scepter is a really temporary measure right now. He wasn't able to use it for that combination where you just instantly blow somebody up.
Yeah.
So now it's just not paying off anymore. And meanwhile, everybody from CDEC just built for the late game. Like Shiki doesn't have, aside from the Blink Dagger, he's got an AC, a BKB, an SNY. Your Gyrocopter just does a ton of damage. He has
Dire's top
probably the
tower
best
is
two
under
items
attack.
that you want on a Gyrocopter late game. MKB,
AUI.
Butterfly.
He's not going to lay out the minefield, so a sign of a little bit of
just going for the
surprise.
trade here.
Especially since they're giving
Dire's
so
bottom
much
tower
time to both
is under
top and
attack.
bottom. Fear and Sumail are going for those pushes. Shiki does come back. They also have to deal with the bottom lane. Pretty sure they just got no damage on those Raxes at all.
This is going to allow EG more time to reset and just buy themselves time, and this is really good for them because they don't want to fight into an Aegis Gyrocopter. They want CDEC to get fancy and waste it if they can. They're just trying to get that.
That was a great read by AUI. I really thought like he would just put the minefield sign down and just like, haha, now you can't push up the middle lane at all, and then you have to go back and defend. But he saw like his allies were already putting enough pressure on bottom and top lane that they had to defend anyway. So he still keeps that cooldown time, which is pretty important. It's essentially a 3-minute delay to any push that you laid out.
Yeah, wherever you decide to place it, you have to be sure that's where the fight's going to happen. Because CDEC can just go for the bottom lane.
Fear begins looks back. He pops BKB. Will be forward for that one. Sumail managed to get off the really great ultimate, which will be able to finish off the Tusk at the very least. Now the Disruptor drops in. Ultimate Q is going to be right-click down double ledge. Fear still in great position down here. Comes Universe as well. He's just going to be able to control DK. They just want to fight right outside of CDEC's face. It's a huge win. And they're going to be able to go uphill, attempting to force buybacks, but there are none.
Oh, actually, the Dragon Knight doesn't have a buyback because he fully completed that AC. Tusk just got a Blink Dagger, and I mean, they definitely didn't see Universe coming in from that backside.
Dire's top tower
The Dragon
is
Knight
under
uses
attack.
all of his BKB. Universe, another clutch ultimate.
Dire's top tower has
insane.
fallen.
He's just trying to
Dire's
stall,
middle tower
essentially,
is
but
under attack.
it's so hard. You've got these big right clickers. They're just going back and forth between the two lanes, not even using too much of a lane. Grissy's now going to be the target. Does have that Aegis, so even if he gets popped here,
Dire's
come
top
back in
tower is
secondary
under
time.
attack.
And they'll just
Dire's
gladly
top
take the
tower.
range racks. See if they get the melee racks as well. Nope, they actually pop themselves out. A lot of CDEC are coming back.
Dire's middle tower is under
AUI just
attack.
laying mine after mine on that tier 3 tower. But Tusk is back, Dragon Knight's up in 20 seconds. It looks like, unless they see nobody, perhaps XD being overly aggressive, goes for PPD, can't quite pop him, and there is the Shallow Grave to be able to keep him alive. Tombstone might be able to finish him off as well. Aggressive looking for a call down to catch him in the end. PB dodges that one, and Aggressive is just losing a lot of time chasing down a support. He does get him in the end, but they traded away a Tusk for that one. And EG are still keeping that back and forth push.
EG are just doing such a good job of extending the game and forcing CDEC to make mistakes. Like CDEC is sending 1 or 2 heroes at a time to defend these pushes, assuming that it's just 1 or 2 heroes doing the push, but EG are always backing it up, and they're just forcing CDEC to run around and play around them. And once again, EG has somehow taken map control. Like, despite the fact that the enemy team has 2 really tanky cores that are built purely for the late game, they're just getting outfought. Like, EG is outmaneuvering them around the map. CDEC is constantly just responding to whatever EG happen to do. Like, it's like EG push 1 while we hit the back. We can't really let this fall. And it's just extending this game right now is... This is what EG want. You want this game to go long so that your enemy is going to make mistakes and you think your play is going to be a little bit cleaner and you can mop up.
Illusion. Satanic complete for the Shadow Fiend. And he's pretty much caught up to the Gyrocopter network. He still has the predicament where he's got this Yule Scepter that he'll need to sell and trade out for a different item. But he's pretty much caught up, especially with the room that Sumail has to be able to farm up.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job right now. Keeping the map pretty spaced out. Queen of Pain is still a little bit behind the net worth, but she's starting to pick up a lot of items. She's got a fully completed Octarine core after that fight, and I'd imagine... I don't think Aghanims is the item.
It seems like the supporting cast is just... EG is what's going to make the difference here. You've got... Compare, say, like Tusk, right? Tusk and Universe. Universe, first of all, can do, I think, Sand King's just more powerful going late game just because the initiation factor is so strong. But he's also going to have a sight device. Now, oh god, Sumail. Incredibly fast blink away. If they'd been managed to catch him, that would have been a huge win for them. But fortunately, they just have to reset, deal with the side lane pushes.
Yeah, AUI's got more net worth than... Is it both of the supports outside the CDEC combined? Yeah. By considerable margin. I mean, don't even consider AUI as a support player in any game that he plays. You have to just treat him like a core hero. Mm-hmm. He's the new offlaner for EG. Using AUI
It's a fourth lane, essentially, when EG has a greedy 4. They just always seem to find that fourth lane for AUI to farm up.
Yeah, and he's getting so fun right now. If he gets his own Hex, that would just completely ruin CDEC in these fights.
3 different Blink Hexes, that would be insane.
Yeah. Oh, that's another factor. Blink Hex is probably one of... It's the strongest initiation in the game.
Yep.
You can blow somebody up, you can set so much up, you can force inopportune BKBs, because if you Blink Hex, then CDEC is going to be spamming their BKBs non-stop. They're like, we have to get this off if we lose this fight. And more importantly, the CDEC is just running out of BKB time. 6 seconds on one hero, 5 seconds on the Dragon Knight.
One side device already being used for the Shiki. They're just chain setting him as much as possible. There are some heals, and Shiki still takes through all this, but he's worse than BKB. At the same time, the snowball is in there. Maybe an awkward position as Roman is catch Sumail, though. With the ultimate, Shiki also stunning him on the Sumail will go down. The universe comes in. Here comes that epic center. He already stunned up on a great team. Now Sumail pops the same heading. He's actually staying alive here. The control's going to be on aggressive as well. He really wants to get Sumail. He will in the end, but the Psycho Blast and the right click shield the finish off. First strike, double stun will give Q as well. And I go right back out. Dragon Knight, Shiki, he's got a double dragon form alongside a Red Team. They're going to try and win this fight. If they don't get it, though, this is going to be the end of the game. Gardner is dropping lower and lower. Will end up falling Sumail. Then on the retreat, Shiki and his Red Team slowed him down. Keeping up on, oh, what a big stasis trap controlling 2 of the cores. And now it's the mine. Both of them dropping low. Universe finishes off one. Sumail gets the other. CDEC dropped the Gyrocopter with no buyback. Dragon Knight forced into his buyback. And Sumail and the rest of EG are still looking healthy enough that they can easily win this last fight. Shiki comes forward, desperate to be able to win a fight without Elder Dragon Form. Stuns up Sumail, but just doesn't do the damage. Now slow down. Universe looking for that next Bro Strike. Won't be able to get it, but Q dies. And now the Dragon Knight left against the world. But if the top laner racks, soon to be Fiend, that's also going to fall. CDEC are just banking on the Dragon Knight and the supporting cast of Tusk now dying that are coming up in 20 seconds.
What's going on in these fights right now is that CDEC's supports are so underfarmed that they just die in the beginning of the fight, and then their cores are getting kited like crazy. The Gyrocopter was doing a lot of damage, so was the Dragon Knight, but once the BKB timers were up, EG just consistently kited them. They had so many disables to sort of just cycle through non-stop. Hexes, the stuns, and Shiki just allowed this fight to go for so long.
It's the last 3, it's the trio. They have to win this one, EG. It's 5 minutes. They've already been winning so many fights. There goes the ultimate blowing up Gardner. They also exceed towards the tail end, and GG. Shiki survives through it all, but it's still a loss for CDEC. Evil Geniuses take the series 2-0.
AUI in that entire fight just threw down stasis traps left and right. You just throw remote beyond godlike for him, as he only dies once independent of a kill, almost always suicides, and the net worth advantage that their supports had were what really made the difference in this last fight.
So CDEC, as much as